Have you ever fallen in love with someone who doesn't even know you exist? Who feels more real than anyone in your actual life? Imagine spending your nights scrolling through their photos, knowing every detail of their day, feeling their pain, celebrating their victories. You know their favorite color, their childhood dreams, their deepest struggles. They're your comfort, your inspiration, your everything. And yet, they have no idea that you exist. Welcome to the world of parasocial relationships, where fantasy and reality blur, and emotions become a multi-million-dollar industry. What are parasocial relationships? They are one-sided relationships in which one person gives emotional energy, interest, and time while the other person is unaware of the first person's existence. In a 2006 study by David Giles and John Maltby, 3 types of parasocial relationships were identified: entertainment social, intense personal, and borderline pathological. The main difference between them is the level of emotional control the person has. Entertainment social. The entertainment social category is the largest group. You may not know the person, but discussing them and learning more about them brings you pleasure. If you fall into this category, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's a great way to make friends and take up a new hobby. Intense personal. Giles and Maltby describe this level of attachment as involving intense and compulsive emotions toward a celebrity. I refer to this level of attachment as Jimin's wife, and I'll explain why. While there's an understanding that the relationship is one-sided, control over feelings becomes harder. Thoughts may emerge that the celebrity is your soulmate, best friend, romantic partner, or someone deserving of worship. People at this level of attachment may feel compelled to check the celebrity's social media daily and struggle to focus on other things such as work or studies. Such strong emotions can interfere with forming close relationships with others, or even cause conflicts when people don't share your feelings. Just think back to those Twitter dramas. Borderline pathological. The borderline pathological level represents the most dangerous type of parasocial relationship, where the individual can no longer control their thoughts, feelings, and sometimes behaviors. People in this group may resort to stalking or violence. Let's remember the sasaengs. Parasocial relationships, good or bad. Parasocial relationships, like most things, have both positive and negative aspects. As mentioned earlier, parasocial relationships can help you discover new hobbies, which is one of the main benefits. Thanks to the developed fan culture, you can not only consume content but also create your own, whether it's drawing, writing fan fiction, or learning Korean so you don't have to wait for subtitles and can understand what your idols are saying. Additionally, your favorite idols can inspire you to take better care of yourself. In the context of K-pop, this can be controversial as it sometimes leads to lower self-esteem. However, there are instances where idols share positive messages that motivate fans to improve their quality of life. They ease loneliness. Parasocial relationships can provide connection and comfort, especially if you feel lonely or struggle with social anxiety. They can be a source of validation. Hearing that your favorite idol has struggled with depression or faced similar problems can help you feel less alone. Relationships don't have to be mutual for us to feel seen. They can fulfill desires. Most of us will never win Artist of the Year at MAMA or fill the Tokyo Dome, but being in a parasocial relationship with those who have achieved this can instill a sense of pride. Therefore, parasocial relationships are neither good nor bad. They simply exist. Clinical psychologist Adam Borland suggests viewing them as a lens for understanding your mental health. If parasocial relationships bring you positive emotions and don't negatively impact your life, it's likely that your emotional and social well-being is in a good place. However, if they begin to consume your life, it may indicate underlying mental health issues that need attention. We've all heard idols confess their love to fans, seen messages on Bubble or other fan media that seem to cross the line into something more than just friendship. Why do companies train idols, and why do they start this training at such a young age? They teach them not only dancing, singing, and rapping, they teach them how to interact with fans because their earnings depend on it. No matter the concept for an album, the idol's image as your boyfriend is always sold. This effective marketing strategy is what gives fandoms the power we see today, as fans are sold not just music and meticulously prepared performances, but also the idea and hope of a romantic relationship with the idol they like most. With the immense devotion of fandoms, comes great responsibility. Sun Jung introduces the term fancom, a system in which fans manage their idols. It's not just about expectations, but about taking steps to improve the idol's image. For example, fans actively participate in social cultural events such as fundraising, charity work, and doing everything possible for the idol's success. These fans also participate in free advertising campaigns, posting about idols on social media, translating materials to help more people discover their favorite group and become fans, and suggesting discussion topics about their idols. Fandoms sometimes involve people who voluntarily engage in cleaning social media of information that could harm the idol's image. For instance, they flood social media with positive comments and hashtags to manipulate algorithms and push positive posts into trending topics instead of potential scandals. I think streaming can also be included in this category. Nowadays, being part of a fandom has become like a job. You might even be accused of not doing enough. And don't you just want to put in the effort for your favorite idol, especially when they say they have no one but their fans? However, with all the effort comes the feeling that as a fan who has tirelessly streamed, translated, promoted, and bought albums, you have a right to something in return. This is what Jung discusses in her research. Fans now see their idols as possessions they manage and systematically influence. Earlier, I talked about the borderline level of parasocial relationships, and sasaeng fans are a perfect example of this. Here are a few incidents involving idols. A group of girls disguised as boys entered the men's bathroom to try and meet EXO members. During a break at a sauna, a sasaeng fan took a photo of a sleeping Kim Joo-jun. In 2006, a sasaeng fan poured superglue into Yunho's orange juice from TVXQ. When the fandom turns its back, an example of this can be seen with Chen from EXO. When he announced his marriage and the news of expecting a child, fans felt betrayed and demanded an apology. Some claim that Chen was only able to make this announcement because he was considered an unpopular member. There was even an attempt to organize a protest calling for him to be removed from the group, but only 7 people showed up. But it's not just about male idols. Remember how Karina from aespa made a public apology for dating? Yet apparently this only angered fans even more. I feel like it would have been better if Karina had said nothing at all, read a post on the popular online community named Pan. LED trucks were even rented out to drive around SM Entertainment's headquarters, displaying messages like, "You ruined your own career. Were you not satisfied with the love your fans gave you? Why did you decide to betray your fans? Apologize or you will see album sales drop and empty front row seats at your concerts and more. You fought for it and that's what you got." This saying rings true. All of these cases show that the first reaction from fans to such news is often a sense of betrayal. They feel betrayed by people who made promises, spoke sweet words, but in the end, changed. This is a very natural reaction. An idol promises you a romantic partner who will always be with you, and then an article comes out that completely shatters your fantasies, which the idol's marketing team and the idol themselves help build so carefully. I wouldn't want to completely leave the idol out of this because being in the industry, they surely understand what they are doing and that their earnings directly depend on how satisfied their fans are, how loyal they are, and how much they are willing to spend to attend fan meetings or fan signs. So idols play the game too, feeding fans illusions and entertaining them with fan service. However, they are just as much victims of this system as the fans. Therefore, I can't fully blame them. How to know if parasocial relationships are negatively affecting your life? Parasocial relationships negatively affect your life if you notice the following. You are experiencing financial difficulties because you are in a fandom. For example, you're spending your budget to buy all the albums. Or when you see something related to your idol, you rush to buy the same thing. In general, if being part of the fandom is costing you too much, arguments over your idol. If you engage in arguments about your idol in Twitter or Reddit, or if someone dislikes your bias, you take it personally, or you deliberately go to argue with anti-fans or criticize idols you see as enemies to your idol. Jealousy. If you feel irrational jealousy when your idol is with a girl, you experience excessive jealousy. What you can do. Before I offer any advice, I want to make it clear that these are just suggestions. This isn't a call to action or a command. I'm not a therapist. These are simply tips that might help someone in a similar situation. Take a break from social media. If you can't completely disconnect, try blocking the group's account or fan accounts. Focus on building real-life relationships. Essentially, try to find friends outside of the fandom. Consider seeing a psychologist or therapist. It might be helpful to consult an unbiased professional with whom you can discuss your fixation. It's possible that underlying mental health issues you haven't addressed are contributing to this behavior. A psychologist can help you understand the reasons behind it and teach you healthier coping mechanisms. Grieve your parasocial relationship. Parasocial relationships often come to an end, and the grieving process can surprisingly resemble mourning the end of a real relationship. There can be many reasons for this. Your favorite idol gets married and you disagree with it. They do something you can't forgive. The group disbands. They leave the industry, or perhaps they pass away. Whatever the reason, the real world has disrupted and changed the fantasy of your parasocial relationship. It's important to allow yourself to grieve, as Dr. Borland advises. Acknowledge feelings of loss, sadness, and disappointment as you would in any close personal relationship. He also recommends focusing on the positive aspects, what you gained and learned during your time in these parasocial relationships. If there's someone to talk to, whether they're going through something similar or you trust them not to judge you, don't be too hard on yourself. Allow yourself to grieve. Inclusion. Parasocial relationships can be beneficial, offering a way to relax after a tough day and spend time with others without investing personal resources into communication. However, when these relationships start to significantly affect your emotions, create false beliefs, and take up a large portion of your time, it's important to take a step back. It might be time to prioritize your well-being and limit your content consumption. Just remember to take care of yourself, not people who don't know you.